Can you start a YouTube channel as a hobby and have fun in 2024? Of course. But can you start a profitable channel? Yes. And it was Yahoo Finance that revealed that the creator economy and creator economy businesses are the fastest growing small business type right now. So this is exciting because you could in 2024, what are you trying to achieve? Do you want to open up a coffee shop? Do you want to open up a flower shop? Do you want to rent some commercial space? Do you want to be a franchisor, a franchisee of a Subway, or these different things you could do? Or do you want to start a creator business? Well, if you're listening to this video podcast, then you're thinking about getting into YouTube. And a quick tip there is, I think one of the most powerful ways you can start YouTube is with a business mindset. Not many start, they think, oh, it's going to be a side hustle. It's going to be a hobby. Fine. But Yahoo Finance said this is the fastest growing business type. And I found that by shifting your mindset from kind of like, oh, I'm just dabbling in a hobby to I want to dominate this as a business, forces you to think a little bit different. Okay, what skills do I need? How could I approach this strategically? How could I approach this more intentionally? And so this is the fastest growing small business type, and that is continuing into 2024. That speaks to the opportunity of starting and growing, but also the opportunity of making money. But probably the most significant recent YouTube stat that shook me to the core was Goldman Sachs research revealing that over the next 3 to 4 years, the creator economy is going to double and be a $500 billion industry. So let's unpack that. First of all, right now they revealed, and this is Wall Street, people that are smarter than me, smarter than us. Here we are sitting in Las Vegas in our video podcast studio. You're pretty brilliant. I'm glad to be getting to be here with you. But I mean, ultimately, we're sitting here. These are analysts, financial analysts, looking at big data, looking at numbers, looking at all this different stuff. So they have evaluated that the creator economy currently is evaluated at $250 billion. It's kind of one way of looking at how much money is in the system. If you applied this to a different industry, they might say how much money is in restaurants, top line, like how much money is in network marketing. It's this big of an industry. So currently, the creator economy is a $250 billion industry. That's a massive number. And if you had just a tiny piece of that, the practicality of earning an extra 10 grand a year or $55,000 a year or whatever is more practical than people realize. But okay, it's 250 right now. And what Goldman Sachs research is looking at, based on all economic factors and things we're looking in this environment. I mean, people, sometimes we get doom and gloom. Oh, is it a recession? What's going to happen next? And of course, different things can happen, but they look at the market, they look at what's happening, they look at the trends. They say, okay, that's going to double in the next 4 years. The reason this is so insane is because, as you mentioned, I've been on YouTube 17 years. YouTube's only existed for, I think, 2005. So you go 2005 to 2014, that's 19 years. I started my first channel for my local church in a small town an hour north of Seattle called Marysville, Washington. It was a terrible channel. I mean, it was fine because it was for a church, but in these days, you had a 15-minute upload limit, no custom thumbnails. We were doing everything wrong. Our technology was inferior, all this different stuff. But I just have had the privilege of being in the game a long time, personally growing channels, helping others grow. If I'm understanding Goldman Sachs research correctly, they're saying this. I've watched the whole thing from start to now grow for the last 19 years, from 2005. And when did the creator economy start? Well, it started, to be fair, it's not just YouTube. This would be the other social platforms. When did it start? It started whenever the first platform, probably YouTube. You had YouTube, Facebook came a little bit later, now X, then eventually Instagram. Those are kind of being, of course, the big ones. YouTube by far and Facebook, I think, are maybe the biggest in terms of money. YouTube pays the most as far as creators. Okay, great. So it has taken from 2005 until 2024, that long for the creator economy to become worth $250 billion for that much money to be in the system. And it's crazy. Now, when we think about that, we think about our own experience. We've generated millions of dollars in our company from 21 different income streams. Great. Okay, but what about people listening to this and other people? And they've probably watched YouTubers get famous that are entertaining, education YouTubers doing DIY and Etsy, making money. We get to see our students' results. So we see behind the scenes and see people making a couple grand a month, a few $100s a month from affiliate marketing. We see how much money is in the system of e-commerce and affiliate marketing. Just you make a video and recommend jeans or fashion or supplements or whatever, and how much money's there. Okay. So it's taken 19 years for this whole thing to be valued at $250 billion. And Goldman Sachs research says all that's happened in the last 19 years is doubling in the next 4. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Massive acceleration. Is it too late? It's just getting started. And actually, it's maybe one of the best times to start. If you enjoyed this podcast and are ready for some deep dive YouTube strategy, just go to thinkmasterclass.com to get access to my 1-hour on-demand YouTube strategy class. You'll be looking over my shoulder as I share my best tips, and you can watch it on demand right now at thinkmasterclass.com.